majority in the Congress and something like that can be put in place?
Well, first of all, I'm a co-sponsor of the flat tax. I'm sorry, the fair tax. I support the flat tax too. Any substantive change in our tax code is what we need to do. I think you're going to see some things come out of appropriations this year as it actually relates to the tax code, and flattening it and taking away some of the loopholes that we hear a lot about. And so that's why I signed on to the fair tax. Actually, one of my committee members I sit next to in the Rules Committee is one of the co-authors of the fair tax, the second one that came out. Yes.
I'm concerned about 2012. The 5th Congressional District is going to be cut in half. Is there any work that's in progress now, and which end of the camp of the split it are you thinking of running?
How about where I live? We have no idea. The state, won't be meeting until January. That's when we expect to see the first maps come out. They've really stayed away from talking to us because of possible litigation in the future. I would hope, now this is my personal hope, I would hope, well, first of all, it's not even hope, it's going to consolidate. We're almost 1 million people, and we need to get down to about 700,000. So we're going to lose probably 300,000 folks. And how that looks, I've seen, people draw maps. It could, be, Hernando, Pasco, Citrus. It could be a variation. It could be, Hernando, Citrus, and Sumter, and maybe a little bit of lake like it is now. So there's a whole bunch of variations out there. Honestly, I hate to lose anybody because, over this past almost year now that I've been, in Congress, but then running, made a lot of good friends in all those areas. So we have no idea what's going to look like, but it's going to look different. Yes?
Except for Fox News, we can't get a good picture or hear anything from conservatives or Republicans. And I don't know why they're not pushing themselves more. Every doggone day on the drive-by media, they're out there pushing their story, and they're all saying the same thing. Somebody publishes it, and everybody repeats it. We're not doing that as a Republican Party or a conservative party.
Actually, we are. I will tell you, I've been involved in a number of press conferences, and there's in Washington, we stood out there, in front of the White House when we delivered, the budget to Harry Reid. We've done one on cut, cap, and balance. And what happens is Fox will show it. Some of the other networks will maybe show a clip, of about 5 or 10 seconds, or show nothing. We don't control that. Remember one thing: the president has a bullet point. When the president says he's going to talk, everybody comes, and he controls that message. And it's real frustrating for us. And we talk about this all the time amongst ourselves up there about our inability sometimes to message. But that's why we do things like our newsletter. That's why we're trying to do more with internet, trying to get the message out. We do what we send a lot of letters to people, trying to explain what we're doing from that standpoint. But the national messaging is real frustrating. I agree. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on Morning Joe this morning, real nice Republican Alan Simpson said that Grover Norquist should be investigated. When I heard that Republicans signed this pledge for no tax increases, I thought, who is this man that is so powerful he can get all the Republican Party, except for a few brave ones, to sign a pledge? He was a friend of Jack Edwin. Where does this man get his money? Do you feel like maybe someday you say, God, I wish I never signed that pledge?
Well, first of all, I didn't sign a pledge to him. I
But
signed
you
a
did,
pledge.
he's running it, sir.
Yeah,
He's
but
running it.
understand this. I didn't sign a pledge for him. I signed a pledge for folks like this gentleman over here to know what my values are in regards to
But we
tax
didn't
increase.
elect.
No, I know,
He doesn't,
But
you
all that-
represent the people from
I
this
understand,
area,
but all that
not,
pledge is I'm just
Who
saying that I'm
backs
not
this
for
guy?
tax increase.
he's more powerful than a president and Boehner, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
But yes,
Congressman, my name's Ken Donovan, and my question is, it appears that there's going to be some forthcoming changes to our tax code.
there are.
It also appears that over successive administrations on both sides, we now have a 62,000-page tax code that on one hand, if you line 100 taxpayers up against the wall, the first 50% pay effectively no income taxes. On the other hand, and I hold primarily, each group in Washington feeds their own special interest group. So that's probably primarily responsible, the Democrats are responsible for that. On the other hand, you have a multinational corporation such as GE last year that made $14 billion in profits and effectively paid no corporate income tax. Now, you'd be hard put to convince me that the Democrats are also responsible for that one. What do you believe my question is, what do you believe the odds are that in the forthcoming changes, that the tax code is going to become more effective, more fair, and have a positive impact on our financial situation? I understand that this is probably a guess or an opinion on your part, but that's okay.
Well, first of all, if you look back to the Ryan budget, that was one of the examples that we used, and we talked about, was the fact that there are corporations that pay no tax. They have, I want to say fleet of attorneys, but they have just the, gaggle of attorneys. That's all they do is hunt for loopholes within that huge tax code. And so that's one of the discussions we're talking about as to how to flatten it. And to eliminate those loopholes because it's not fair. It's fundamentally not fair that because I have more money than you that I can find loopholes to protect it. I don't think that's un-Republican. I think that's just a fairness doctrine that, hey, listen, everybody needs to pay their fair share to support the ability to do what we do. And so that's where we are, and I will tell you that I think you're going to see some fundamental changes in that coming up just later when we get back in the falls when